Hello everybody and welcome to another build. Today we're going to be completing LilSimie's Mouse Shell Challenge. So this is very exciting and I built a bookstore. I had a pretty hard time trying to roof this thing. It looks easy to roof. It is not easy to roof. I wound up deleting the roof at least once and making a porch, which made it a little easier to roof. But yeah, it was not a fun project for roofing. Now, LilSimsie is my favorite Sims content creator, and if you don't know who she is, I highly recommend going to look her up. Now, a shell challenge is where someone will create the shell of a building and post it to the gallery. And then other people can then download that shell and create something out of it. So the one rule is that you can't change the existing walls. So you can add interior walls, you can add platforms, half walls, fences, but not changing the original structure. And it turns out really cool because then when everyone else uploads their shell challenge, you can see all the different kinds of things that people have made out of the same structure. And it's really interesting. So you can see now I am almost done roofing this structure. It's taken a while and there have been many iterations. But I finally figured it out with that porch on there. So I wanted this to blend into the environment a little bit. So there's a few houses around that we're trying to kind of mimic that color scheme. So we do this kind of cream and red color scheme. And cottage living, which is where this is at, this is in Henford-on-Bagley. Cottage living has the most amazing build mode stuff. It's one of my favorite packs of all time. I love the windows and doors. There are a bunch of bay windows in this pack. There are windows with shutters, and it's just really, really good. I love it. So my goal for this build, believe it or not, was literally to be picked for the build tours on LilSimie's channel, on her Twitch channel, and I was actually picked, which was so exciting. It was like the highlight of my year so far anyway, and that's just like manifesting at its best, at its heart, you know, just getting like having something you really want and just letting it happen, which is amazing. And it did. My other goal for this build was to create sort of like a cozy bookstore atmosphere, a lot of reds, a lot of warm colors. I put in a little fireplace, cozy nook with some seating. Now, this may not be like your ideal kind of bookstore because it's so small. But that's kind of what I like about it. You know, it's kind of like your little hometown bookstore. Maybe they only have like, you know, used books, or, you know, they only carry some of the newer things. And so you have to ask for them to order it for you. That's kind of my vision here. Now I wind up using the Book Nook kit bookshelves to create these like insanely tall built-in shelving units, and one of my favorite things was framing out that bay window. I think it just looked so cool like that. And then I fill up the windowsill with all sorts of like stacks of books and debug books, and it just looks really nice. So this build took me a few days to build in real life, um, just because I like to split up my building, a few hours here, a few hours there. But I am not as fast of a builder as LilSimsie. When she did her built version of her shell challenge, she completed the whole thing in like 3 hours, which is really fast in my opinion because she's amazing. But that is not me. She has a lot more experience, first of all, and I like to kind of take my time a little bit and goof around, go get a snack, get something to eat, come back, look through everything, catalog. So I probably wind up working on this for maybe about 5 or 6 hours. Probably took me about double the amount of time that it took her to do hers. And I would say that it took me that long because there was a lot of alt placing things in this build. Specifically on those middle shelves that you're looking at right now, I put so many, I went through debug and I put so many little book displays on there, and they each had to be individually placed, and that took quite a while. So now I'm just working on the outside a little bit, working on some landscaping. That little fence you see is a debug fence, and so I'm just placing that around. The landscaping is also debug, and it's from Cottage Living, and they have some of the best landscaping in Cottage Living. I just love it. I can't say enough about it, especially that little orange flower in the front there. That is my favorite flower probably in the entire game. Little black-eyed Susan, and it's so pretty. Inside the bookstore, I put a couple of shelving units. There was not really a whole lot of room to work with because this place is so tiny. It's technically, you could use it as a tiny house if you wanted, so it's only like 64 tiles. So it's really small. And so I only fit, I think we've got 4 bookshelves in here. I put a little like cabinet that looks like it could house some old antique looking books, maybe your rare book section. And then I've got a little cabinet also behind the counter, where the checkout counter, where I put some more little kind of collectible book items, as well as the sized down version of that Excellence bunny, which looks so cute. As you can see, that alt placing really took quite a while to get everything just right, and I put a couple different sections. So I try to have like a children's section and an occult section, like a magical books kind of thing. So technically there is not such a thing as a bookstore in The Sims, but I figure with the new businesses and hobbies pack that's coming out, you could probably like fudge something a little bit so that people can come in. Maybe you can switch out some of those shelves for the retail shelves that we're getting, and you can make this like an actual functional bookstore and people will buy those book displays. So basically I'm just going through now and adding a whole bunch of bunny stuff, since that is the name of the store. It's the Bunny Hop Books. So, and there's a surprising amount of bunny themed items in The Sims. And then I go through and also just add a ton of plants to this place to make it seem homey and nice and cheerful. And I think it really brings the place together. I love having a space just completely filled with nice plants. And just adding some finishing details, one of my favorite things that I put in this was that little, I think it's like a side table actually, from the Cozy Kitsch kit, but it looks like a step stool. So I put that in the corner by the tall built-ins around the bay window, and it looks really cool. It looks like maybe your sim was reaching for something up high, and they have the step stool there to help them out a little bit. It looks a little realistic touch, and I like that. And upon finishing up the landscaping, I remembered that I think it's base game, but it's just a topiary of a rabbit. And I was so excited when I found that. I was like, I am using this somewhere in this build. And it doesn't really go with anything else, but I managed to fit it into the little garden in the front. And I added around some physical bunnies, some actual bunnies that are in the gameplay feature of the pack, so they will like, come to life in live mode and hop around. And there's a bunny tree for them, a bunny like stump, whatever you call that. So they'll go and live in there and be, part of your world. It's just like Ariel and whatever his name is. It's like Eric or something, right? It's like she just wants to be part of your world. So anyway, we finish up out here with the landscaping. I do a little bit of terrain paint, kind of blending everything into the surrounding area, making it look a little bit more realistic. And then we're going to go in and I'll give you a tour of the place. So like I said, this is called Bunny Hop Books, and I make a little description there about it. I set this as just a generic lot, so you can change that to whatever you want in the future if you decide to download this. And let's just jump on in, shall we? So this is the finished build, Bunny Hop Books. I built this in Henford-on-Bagley, which is the world that comes with cottage living, and I highly recommend that. It's a very nice pack. So I sized up some of these books by the front door, and you can see I've got a bunny on the porch, a real bunny, and I've got a bunny in the flowers. I've got this sign here that comes with cottage living. It's actually for a cafe, but I hid it behind some flowers, so all you can see there is the bunny. I think it looks cute. Moving around, you can see that landscaping that I used. This is one of my favorite items, that little cart with the flowers in it. There's some more bunnies in the back. They're like kind of talking to each other. I put the garden hose on the side, and those flowering trees come in the pack. They're debug trees, and they're so pretty. It's one of my favorite things. There's the bunny stump, so if you play here, the bunnies will spawn the bunny stump. I haven't play tested this lot yet, so I don't know if your Sims will walk past that flower box to get to the chess set. So if you download this, you might want to move the chess set out into the yard or something. But moving on inside, let's see here. We've got all of our bunny stuff on our counter, our sales counter. Then we've got our bookshelves in the middle. You can kind of walk around. Our built-in bookcases, some artwork from the Book Nook kit on the walls. We've got all of that debug book displays with some more of those bunny bookends. I only put the bunny bookends in here, so because it's the bunny hop. So I kind of assumed that you could like maybe buy the bookends as well. I put that new phone from the rewards event. And here's what I was talking about, that really miniature sized down version of the Excellence Bunny. It's right in there. Kind of just see it. Moving this way, we've got the LilSimie's cow plant, her hanging cow plant. That's right there. The little stool that I was talking about, that's actually an end table. And one of my favorite things is that windowsill, just completely filled with books and flowers. It looks so cool. It's so cozy in here. I want to live in here, or like at least come here as like a real person. This is the occult section. This is your antique book section. And then back here, there's a little seating area, those little poofs you could sit on. This item is really cool. It's actually like just a decoration, but I alt placed a plant on top of it. We've got a couch and a armchair. And then over here we've got a tiny little bathroom. So it's just a sink and a toilet and some debug paper towels. And that's pretty much it for the build. I really enjoyed making this. It was super fun, especially with like really wanting to get toured on the shell tours and then actually getting toured. It was like such a dream come true. It was so cool. And there was like thousands of people there, so I appreciate the opportunity. I hope to do more in the future. If you like this kind of thing, stick around. We'll be doing some more builds in the near future, probably with the new businesses and hobbies pack. And I'm so excited to share that with you. So you can see here, I'm just showing you a little bit about the bookstore blending in with the environment. It looks pretty good. The colors, you know, looks pretty British. I like British things, so that's good. But anyway, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and you know, don't forget to have fun with your building, and don't forget to eat your veggies. Bye bye. Have a great day, you guys. Love you.